What's going on, guys? It's P. Gamboa, and in today's episode we're going to be talking about wireless charging. And what we've got here is a couple of wireless charging modules out of my 2016 Chevy Silverado. GM introduced wireless charging on 2016 and on, and I believe also some later 2015 trucks as well. And so what I've got going on here is I've got a side-by-side comparison. On the left, I've got a module out of a 2016 charging lid. Again, 2016, 2017 is when you start seeing these charging lids in our trucks and SUVs. On the right is a 2018 charging module that I believe came out of a 2018 Suburban. And so for those of you that have been following on the forum, there are some compatibility issues with the charging modules. This module does not charge the current iPhone 8 and iPhone 10, as well as some of the newer Android devices. The 2018 module corrects that, and what I'd like to do for you guys today is kind of show you a side-by-side comparison. We're going to open these guys up so you can see what it looks like on the inside. The older module only has a single coil, and the 18 module has a triple coil system that allows for better charging and compatibility on some of these larger devices. And so in addition to that, the connections, the input connections actually change. On the older module, this harness is going to be a 3-pin connector, which is the same on the 18, but of course the connector end itself changed. So if we were to compare these two, the actual physical connections will not actually fit. So there are some folks out there that are doing a couple of things on the old module. They are sourcing the connector and the pins to essentially repin this. Others are shaving off some of the connector housing and making a modification on the pin to actually physically fit. And so we're gonna go through and show you that detail. I actually do have a pigtail harness that I'm currently selling, and what this does is when you go to remove your old module, you simply take your harness, plug it in to my pigtail, and then plug the other end in to the module like so. So it makes it factory OEM plug and play. You don't have to worry about getting the right tools or unpinning tools to make the modification. You simply just plug in my inline harness. So let's go through and we're gonna take these guys apart so you can see what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so to open up the old module, you're gonna need a T10 Torx bit. There are gonna be 5 screws on the top you're gonna wanna remove. Once you remove the screws, the lid is not gonna be that easy to open, and I'll show you why. So just use caution. There's gonna be a coil here that's gonna be stuck using some sticky back tape on this guy. So when you go to open it up, you can see here that you've got this circuit board coil, if you will, and it's attached to the board on this connector. So just use caution when you go to open this guy up. And so if we look at this guy on the inside, you're gonna see the single coil and this magnet here in the center. And so what ends up happening is that this coil, when your phone is resting on the charging lid, doesn't mate up very well to this, and therefore it won't charge some of the larger phones. In addition to that, there's another member that opened this up and actually took the magnet. So there's a center magnet here that you can remove. And if you remove this magnet and reinstall the module, of course I can't get this magnet out, but essentially remove the magnet from the coil and then reinstall this back. So this particular mod, I got it to kind of work to charge my iPhone. And so with this, what I also had to do is on the actual rubber mat, I had to rotate the mat 180 degrees so that my phone can sit and actually mate. And it kind of charged it, but I wanted to get the newer module that's gonna charge it every time. So this is what it looks like on the inside. On the 16, again, single coil. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the 2018. So to disassemble the 2018 module, you have 4 small Phillips head screws. So go ahead and get that taken off. When you remove the 4 screws, the outer casing just simply separates, and you can see the module here. This guy is gonna have some additional screws that we're gonna take apart, and this is actually, it's a stack board, so you're gonna have to pull this apart so we can take a look at the inside. Once you get the 2 screws out, turn the board on its side, there's a black connector here, and that's where the connection point is made. So just gently wiggle this back and forth, and then it separates just like that. So you can kind of see the connector there that mates up to the board. So taking a look at this, you can see that you've got a triple coil system. And if we compare that to the old module, you've got a single coil. So that's the reason why on the newer module, you have more surface area to be able to charge your phones with as opposed to the other module, and why most are wanting to perform this upgrade. So the actual module itself, this part number is 13521066. As of this video, this module is on national back order. So if you want to perform this upgrade, get your order in so you can get this upgrade done. So just wanted to show this to you in detail. I'm going to go ahead and reassemble this back together, and then we're going to show you how to swap this out on the truck. Okay, so to remove the charging module, you're going to want to remove this black lid or the cover to the bottom side. Grab yourself a flat bezel removal tool. I like using these wider blade ones. And you want to just work your way along the edges. Now be careful because your material here is leather, so you don't want to mess that up. And just get your bezel tool in there and just simply pry it off all the way around. Now I've taken mine off a few times already, so mine will be a little bit easier to get to. And just pulled it off. And so you can see here that it's held by these retainer clips. You've got 5 on each side. So once you get that off, you'll be exposed to the module itself. You'll use a T20 to remove the 4 bolts. So go ahead and unplug your connector, like so. The connection's on the back. Remove the bolts and replace your module with the new module. On the new module, again, like I showed you earlier, that connector is not going to plug in. So with my adapter harness, you're going to take the factory OEM harness plugged into my adapter, and then my adapter into the module and reinstall. One thing that I wanted to point out is that in addition to the charging module, GM also changed the rubber mat. This is the rubber mat where your phone actually sits here on top. And so on the 16-17 charging lids, you'll notice your rubber mat will have 9 raised ridges and then this backstop here. And so when you go to sit your phone on this, you're limited to the space from this top edge to this bottom edge. And so for some of you that have the longer phones, even with the updated module, you may not get this to charge right. And so what some are doing is actually removing the rubber mat and rotating it 180 degrees. And so to do that, it's quite simple. There are some bolts underneath. You just remove the bolts. And so the rubber mat, when you look at this, there's going to be this little rubber piece that goes into the slot. So what you need to do here is kind of cut that off and then rotate this 180 degrees. And what that does is it allows your phone to sit further back, making better placement onto the module, and then you replace your ring. And so there is an updated version of this rubber mat that essentially removes this backstop here, and then there's a 10th raised ridge. And so with my iPhone 10, I can actually charge with this rubber mat in its factory position, which is like so. Some may need to reverse that or find the correct rubber mat. Now, for those of us that have went out to go look for this rubber mat, unfortunately the part numbers have been reported to be the same between the 10 ridge versus the 9 ridge. So it'll be interesting to see if GM ends up figuring out a way to differentiate between the 2 rubber mats. So I just wanted to point that out to you guys. In this factory position, my iPhone 10 does charge every single time. Well guys, there you have it. I hope this video helps you in the understanding of upgrading to the new wireless charging module. If you have any questions on this video or the process, please leave me some comments below. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe to this video, and check out my channel. I do offer other videos for the 2014 to 2018 Silverado Sierra trucks. And if you want some more information on ordering this pigtail harness for your upgrade, please visit me on the GM Trucks forum below. The link will be in the description. Until next time, guys, thanks for your support. This is P. Gamboa. See ya.